We're getting set to be joined by the head coach of America's team, Mike McCarthy, here on Sean and RJ every Friday at 6:30 on DFW Sports Station, and we have Coach right now. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning, Sean and RJ. I'm doing fine.
Coach, did you grow up hating the Cleveland Browns in Pittsburgh?
Oh, absolutely. That was part of the gig. That was a brutal. That was a big-time rivalry back then. Still is. But yeah, that was part of growing up a Steeler fan.
Did you hate Brian Sipe or Bernie Kosar more?
The Cardiac Kids versus the Bernie Kosar Browns. I'd have to say clearly Brian Sipe, just because I was in my prime years as a Steeler fan.
For some reason, Coach, RJ thinks those uniforms are fantastic. I think they're the ugliest ones in the league. He also thinks Terry Bradshaw's overrated. Would you agree?
Whoa, I don't know about the second one now.
I just like my quarterback.
Overrated?
Yeah, I just like my quarterbacks to throw fewer interceptions than touchdowns, but that's just me.
Well, it was a different era.
I know.
I don't think it's even fair to compare quarterbacks from some of these eras. It's a different game today.
Coach, if you listen to him on judging quarterbacks for 10 minutes with his WAR numbers and everything, you would never come back on this show again.
DVOA, Sean. DVOA.
DVOA. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Got to watch those statistics. They can fool you.
Coach, which one do you think is kind of overrated, and which one of these new school stats do you really put a lot of weight into, where the media talks about them and it's a new way for fans to judge the sport? Well, which one do you think really matters, and which one do you think we kind of get fooled by?
I'm sure that's a great question. I think the biggest thing, I think the modern day QBR is a little more realistic one. Because the traditional quarterback passer rating is, it doesn't give any benefit to the mobile quarterback. If your quarterback rushes for 10 touchdowns in a year, that should count. I mean, if he's 25 plus yards, a game rushing, that's a different stress on the defense. So I think that has improved the ranking of quarterbacks. I think that's clearly one. The one I've always paid attention to is quarterback differential. I think that's a very important statistic because it takes in it factors the actual game that you're playing in, the competition of your schedule too. So, and that's where I think you have to watch when you're looking at league-wise stats, versus the opponent that you're competing against, because at the end of the day, we're all judged on wins and who you play, and the shape of the team, the shape of your team and the shape of the team you're competing against. It obviously factors, and it's you don't see a lot of statistics on that.
Coach,
long answer. Sorry about that.
No, we love long answers.
Okay.
I got into a bit of a Twitter spat or spate, however you want to say it, with Bucky Brooks and Michael Lombardi this week, who were kind of calling for you guys to run the ball more, slow the offense down, protect the defense. And I know that's something that you didn't want to do last week going into the Seattle game. You didn't want to just slow the game down. Why do you not agree with that philosophy? I don't agree with that philosophy. Why do you agree or not agree with that philosophy of slowing the game down to protect the defense?
I think it's a one-sided philosophy, no different than just playing totally wide open on offense is a one-sided philosophy. So I don't think you can coach to win games over the long run just doing it one way. So, we talk about approach to a game each and every week. So you have a thought process of how you want to play games. But I think when you're north of 30 rushes a game, I don't know how people could even ever criticize your play calling, because 30 plus rushes a game is excellent. But our challenge has been, frankly, if they're going to get into statistics, is turnover ratios. When you get in games where you're 2 scores, 3 scores down, obviously your pass totals are going to go up. I think we all recognize that. So that's why I think when you look at a 3-game stretch and you start making evaluations, it's obviously not clear of really the direction most of the time of the team you want to be.
Mike McCarthy, every Friday with us here on The Fan. Jerry came on Tuesday, and we were talking about the secondary, and he seemed to say it was more about the X's and the O's and understanding your defensive concepts than the Jimmies and the Joes. Would you agree with that, Coach? And do you think we don't put enough weight into this crazy offseason and the different ways that you guys had to implement new coaches and new schemes?
Well, to me, it's a given. I think any time, when time on the field is limited, I think it usually transfers to game day. I mean, there's just no replacement for the interactive and and the timing and the efficiency that you're looking for at full speed. I mean, it's frankly is why I make such a big deal every Wednesday and Thursday in the team meetings how important the practices and just the emphasis on every detail, every play, support group, coaching, players of the practice, because it's the closest that we can get to the game. And it may sound very general, but it's the reality of this game and the ability to practice fundamentals and stay after that. There's a lot of all that time was for naught. So I think you have to be practical that you're probably not going to be where you're used to being at this time of year. But there's a lot of teams are going through it. The first year staffs, and then the whole league's going through not having the off season. So it's just part of this crazy time that we're in.
Coach, does this happen a lot? Like, how often do you find that coaches will overcomplicate schemes or situations and that really don't need to be overcomplicated?
Well, I hope it happens every Sunday to the group that's across the field. I mean, frankly, that's I'll take that. But it happens. I think there's a lot of value and experience, particularly on game day. When you look at the way you call a game. As an offensive play caller, you look at the way you handle adjustments during the game as a head coach, and you think back to, how you did it, 10, 12, 13 years ago. It's different. So, but yeah, I think it's a very insightful question, and but yes, it does go on.
Well, I love hearing that. Mike McCarthy.
That's rare, but we'll throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then, you got to get a win in life, and I'm trying to get mine one at a time. Mike McCarthy joining us here, 105.3 The Fan. Is there an update on Tyron?
Yes, Tyron practiced yesterday, and I haven't seen him yet this morning. So, but right now everything's on course to play. So we'll just we'll see what today brings and tomorrow.
Did you know Zach would be good at right tackle? We'd never seen him there.
Well, I mean, that was part of the conversation, but I'm not going to say I was surprised. I mean, Zach is everything you look for in a football player, both on the field, off the field, his leadership and his approach. And, I thought the thing I was most impressed with was, particularly when we got behind there, is to see his pass sets, the detail in his vertical set, and, especially for not having a lot of reps out there. But yeah, I was very pleased with the way he played.
Coach, on paper, it looks like Cleveland is going to try to run the ball down y'all's throats. Is that the first thing on the whiteboard, stop the run and try to limit Nick Chubb, who may be playing, the best football of any running back in the league? They have Hunt. They've invested in their offensive line to improve that. Stefanski ran it against us a ton last year. Is stop the run number one for you in this game right now?
Well, it definitely is each and every week. I mean, there's never a game that you don't talk about the run game, as part of your first or second objective. So clearly, just with the strength of the way they're built, this is an extremely talented football team. But they're in their first year also, so they're going through some changes. Bill Callahan's the O-line coach, so it's not only it's not the fact that they're going to run. We fully anticipate they're going to emphasize the run, but I think we'll see some play action shots and things early, just to to try to get us to back up would be the anticipation. But they're going to run the football, throughout the whole course of the game. That's the way they're built, and but they got dynamic players at the receivers, and I think the addition also of the tight end. You're looking at a talented perimeter group also to complement the run game.
Coach, this is this is something that we've talked about for a number of years. It's probably we probably totally overblow it, but Kansas City's thought of as a high-powered offense passing team. Other teams are run-first teams. What do you think the identity of this team would be?
Talking about my team or Browns?
No, you're the Cowboys.
Cowboys. Okay, yeah. Well, right now we want to be as balanced as we can, and the balance isn't always by numbers, but it also comes down to who you're playing against. You have to have the ability. As a Seattle loaded up. They clearly went into the game with a focus on stopping Zeke, and you have to have the ability to get the ball outside and also find different ways to get the ball to Zeke. So I mean that's to me we want to be aggressive on offense because I look for the biggest thing I look for offensively is ball distribution. Defensively, we want to stop the run, and we want to, we haven't done it quite yet, throughout the whole course of the game, but we want to get in positions where our pass rush can pin their ears back and get going. We haven't played with the lead a whole lot this year, so that's ideally which is the identity we like to play. We'd like to play our strengths on our football team, and and I like to. Progress of our special teams. By design, we wanted to be over aggressive early. That was part of the plan for John and I as far as the approach to the season, and we clearly did that in the first couple of games. So it's nice to see our guys settle in, and we need to have a big game Sunday. I think so far we've had a good week on special teams. So because we had some tough moments up there in Seattle.
That was that's a pretty interesting comment. Why did you want to purposely be over aggressive early with special teams?
Can't go that deep.
Okay.
Can't go that deep on that one there, but there's a reason.
What is the first play?
You're supposed to go with a follow-up question, isn't it? I'm trying to.
Yeah, I got you. If you couldn't, I got you. You couldn't go deep on that. What's going to be the opening play call Sunday?
Opening play call?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be on defense probably. Because we usually defer.
Okay, we're going to blitz? We're going to 42 dog it? We're going to zone bear?
What do you want? No one's going to be coming in here about 15 minutes. You just your idea
goal
will
line.
be my idea. I'll sell it to them. What do you think?
Goal line.
Coverage or blitz? Can't go to goal line.
Goal line.
What did you say?
He said goal line.
I said goal line defense. I said, Jesus, well, thanks for the confidence.
Yeah, it's a bad return.
Well, Cleveland wants to run it. Do you want to stop the run or not? They're going to run it. You're going to go goal line defense. All right. Last week, Coach, you inadvertently gave me a homework assignment when we were talking about the status of DeMarcus Tank Lawrence.
Tank. Yeah, that's a great nickname, by the way.
Did you tell him that you didn't know what the nickname was?
No, I didn't. It's a little busy this week. So.
Okay, a little busy.
Fair enough.
All right, here's the clip for the homework assignment for the callback. Troy, hit it. And Tank.
Tank? Who's Tank?
Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence?
Oh, wow. Is that his nickname?
Coach, come on now. You didn't know that wasn't Tank Lawrence.
Man. I don't. Hey, where I come from, everybody has two nicknames. I get it.
What were yours?
That's not the point. So, I mean, I didn't know his nickname was Tank. Okay.
All right, Mike, before we let you go, I did some exhaustive homework and made phone calls and tweets and texts, and I think I have one of the nicknames. Are you ready for it?
Go for it.
Hunky from the Run.
Wow, that's good.
Is that one of them?
Well, it wasn't to me specifically, but yes, I was definitely considered my father was considered a hunky from the Run.
And what does that mean?
Czechoslovakian. It's a nickname for Czechoslovakians, and the Run is the part of our neighborhood. It's called Down the Run. It's many years ago, the portion of land where the neighborhood sits was called 4 Mile Run. I think it was may have been a farm back in the old days, and so they always considered that part of the neighborhood the run, down the run. That's actually where that's where my father's bar was. It was down the run. My father owned a bar in Pittsburgh. Excuse me?
Are you impressed?
Yes, I'm actually going to get off the phone right now and call back to Pittsburgh and find out who the hell's talking back there.
Yeah. Well, do it before we find out the second one. 3 for 3. The conversion rate for Mike McCarthy, fantastic. Every Friday here on the home of America's team. Coach, thank you. Stay safe. Good luck on Sunday. Honky.
Okay, honky. All right, thank you. Have a great week.